regular town board meeting. Today we have a public hearing calendar, a decision, and an administrative calendar. Then the town board will stay behind to listen to the thoughts, comments, and concerns of town residents who wish to speak to us. Before we begin, I will ask Councilman Gary Hughes to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Supervisor Santino.
Here.
Councilman Eversino.
Here.
Councilman Blakeman.
Here.
Councilman Diaz-Fazito.
I'm here.
Councilman Gooseby.
Here.
Councilman Hughes.
Here.
Councilman King-Sweeney.
Here.
Receiver of taxes, Donald X. Clayton.
Here. First item, please.
Petition of Commissioner of Buildings to demolish and remove a 1 1/2 story wood frame, one-family dwelling, and remove all litter and debris from property in Elmont.
Is there anyone who would like to be heard on this matter before the town board? There being none, I will ask for a motion, please.
Move that the public hearing closed, petition be adopted. Second.
Supervisor Santino.
Aye.
Councilman Eversino.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Fazito.
Aye.
Councilman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Hughes.
Aye.
Councilman King-Sweeney.
Aye.
Next item, please.
Petition of Commissioner of Buildings to demolish and remove a 1 1/2 story wood frame, one-family dwelling, and remove all litter and debris from property in Seaford.
Someone would like to be heard on this matter before the town board? Morning.
Good morning.
Please have a seat. How are you? And your name and address for the record.
Michael J. Snow, 3525 Bay Place, Seaford, New York, 11783.
Welcome, sir. Okay.
Basically, the house down in, I have it still up because I've been dealing with New York Rising because the house got destroyed in Hurricane Sandy. So basically, I didn't get any money whatsoever from insurance or from New York Rising to knock it down or to build it back up. So for the past 4 or 5 years, I've been, kind of in limbo on, what to do. And as far as about a year ago, New York Rising said they're not going to do anything. So basically, I just have no money to knock it down. And right now, I'm in the process of selling it, and I'm in contract right now.
Well, what we normally do in cases like this, essentially, it comes before us, it gets to this point, because it's deemed to be a public hazard. Commissioner Rockham is the Commissioner of Building Department. Would you address that?
Good morning, Supervisor, members of the town board. Yes, I spoke to Mr. Snow and explained the situation to him, and he said that he's hopefully be closing within 30 days, and then they will be knocking it down. So my recommendation to the town board is to please approve this going forward. This way, in case they won't do it, we'll be able to do it, because the house definitely needs to come down.
But we'll defer any action on it for 30 days to give him time to close. That's correct? Is that okay, Mr. Snow?
Thank you very much.
You got it. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'll accept the motion unless there's anyone else. I will accept the motion.
Supervisor, move to close the public hearing and adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Santino.
Aye.
Councilman Eversino. Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Fazito.
Aye.
Councilman Gooseby. Councilman Hughes. Councilman King-Sweeney.
Aye.
Next item, please.
Proposed local law regarding regulations and restrictions to limit parking in Belmore and Merritt.
Is there anyone who would like to be heard on this item before the town board? Being none, I'll accept the motion.
Move the public hearing closed, local law adopted.
Second.
Supervisor Santino.
Aye.
Councilman Eversino. Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Fazito.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gooseby. Councilman Hughes.
Aye.
Councilwoman King-Sweeney.
Aye.
Next item, please.
Proposed local law regarding regarding parking or standing prohibitions in Bethpage, East Meadow, North Belmore, and Montauk.
Is there anyone who would like to be heard on this matter before the town board? There being none, I'll accept the motion, please.
Move the public hearing be closed, local law adopted.
Second.
Supervisor Santino.
Aye.
Councilman Ambrosino. Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Canseco.
Aye.
Councilman Boothby. Councilman Hughes.
Aye.
Councilman King Sweeney.
Next item, please.
Proposed local law regarding arterial stops in Oceanside.
Is there anyone who would like to be heard on this matter before the town board? There being none, I'll accept the motion, please.
Supervisor, I move that the public hearing be closed and the proposed local law be adopted.
Second.
Supervisor Santino.
Aye.
Councilman Ambrosino. Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Canseco.
Aye.
Councilman Boothby.
Aye.
Councilman Hughes.
Aye.
Councilwoman King Sweeney.
Aye.
Next item, please.
Proposed local law regarding school street limits in West Hempstead.
Is there anyone who would like to be heard on this matter before the town board? There being none, I'll accept the motion, please.
Move the public hearing be closed, proposed local law adopted.
Second motion. Second motion.
Supervisor Santino.
Aye.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Canseco.
Aye.
Councilman Boothby.
Aye.
Councilman Hughes.
Aye.
Councilman King Sweeney.
Aye.
Next item, please.
Proposed revised public parking field maps in Hewlett.
Is there anyone who would like to be heard on this matter before the town board? There being none, I'll accept the motion, please.
Supervisor, I move that the public hearing be closed and the revised public parking map be adopted.
Second.
Supervisor Santino.
Aye.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman. Councilman Diaz-Canseco.
Aye.
Councilman Boothby.
Aye.
Councilman Hughes.
Aye.
Councilman King Sweeney.
Aye.
Next item, please.
Proposed handicap parking on public streets in Atlantic Beach State, Bethpage, East Meadow, Elmont, Franklin Square, and West Hempstead.
Is there anyone who would like to be heard on this matter before the town board? There being none, I'll accept the motion, please.
I move that the public hearing be closed and the item adopted.
Second.
Supervisor Santino.
Aye.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Canseco.
Aye.
Councilman Boothby. Councilman Hughes.
Aye.
Councilman King Sweeney.
Aye.
Next item, please.
Application of 141F Realty LLC for a permit to include existing gasoline service station within GSS district and install 4 pump aisles with 1 multi-product dispenser per aisle, erect canopy over proposed island, and operate a self-serving snack store shop in office area in Baldwin. Supervisor, I have a companion application of 141F Realty LLC to rezone from Residence District B to Business District in Baldwin, I apologize.
Okay.
Good morning. Good morning, Supervisor Santino, members of the board, Madam Clerk. Thank you for that reading. I believe you're one of the only people that announce my case and make it irresistible. But beautiful speaking, so thank you. This application, I'm sorry, Kevin O'Brien from the firm of Mercury Bartholomew O'Brien. This is a 22 Georgia Turnpike, New York, and on behalf of the applicant, I also have here with me this morning Mr. Chris Taglia, PE from High Point Engineering, and design professionals who prepared the plans listed before the board. I also have Mr. Tom Sommerfeld, who is the real estate manager for the project. Now that we have these new electronic means of the plans, I don't get to walk around anymore and display my reports, but I think it's better for the public and for the board members. Inasmuch as these are 2 companion applications involving the same set of facts and circumstances and properties, I request that they be consolidated as part of one application. Okay, thank you. This is an application involving an existing gasoline service station, okay, located at the northeast corner of Seaman Avenue and Grand Avenue. Just a little 2-second history of this location. Actually, the service station has been continually and operated as a gasoline service station since 1928. Back in 1928, there was an application that was made for the service station. At that time, they used 550-gallon underground gasoline storage tanks. We switched over to 3 1,000-gallon storage tanks. It was granted and operated as a gasoline service station since that time. Throughout the years, there have been numerous applications before the town for the replacement, for the removal and replacement of the underground storage tanks at this location. The property owner that is making this application recently purchased this property approximately 3 years ago. The tanks that were existing at the time exceeded their useful life pursuant to the Nassau County Fire Marshal's office and were immediately removed. Part of the application, we made application also for the reinstallation of underground storage tanks. And what we're proposing at this location is to continue to operate as a gasoline service station, put the gas back in physically as far as the improvements that do with the site plan. The yellow area is the existing 3-bay service station building, which would remain a 3-bay service station building. And the office area there will be utilized in part as a snack shop. The shaded area, or I guess which would be beige, has what would be proposed with 4 pump islands, multi-product dispensers for the sale of petroleum products. Those 4 pump islands, and will be covered by a canopy. The dotted area that you see along the rear of the property line, the property itself is zoned Business X, but the property in the rear is zoned Residence B. Like most thoroughfares in the town of Hempstead, typically what we have is the Business X extends about 100 feet from the main, from the front property line. That's the case in this instance as well. The business goes to that dotted line, and I believe we're approximately 112 feet. So that area from 100 feet to 112 feet, that dotted area, which is residence, that's why part of the application seeks to rezone that property to continue to use it as it has been used since 1928 as a gasoline service, as part of the gasoline service station. Part of the building, as you can see, exists in that area, but principally what it would be used for is for landscaping purposes. As far as the curb cuts are concerned, the curb cuts are existing. As a matter of fact, you may notice, I believe it's the county that has stepped in recently, where they're making upgrades to the roadways in the area. They've upgraded at least this side of the street. There's been new curbing. There's been some brickwork that's been done, new sidewalks and the like. So I think this will be an upgrade in being consistent with what the county is doing along the area. I know the county hasn't done it across the street yet, but I think that's slated to be done as well. So operationally, it's operated as a gasoline service station. We'd like to continue to operate as a service station. We are seeking to include in the GSS zoning district because as part of the town's code, and ensure that the board is aware and seeing applications like this in the past. They adopted the GSS ordinance in 1974, that in order for us to continue to operate as a service station, we need that inclusion. Part of what we seek as part of that inclusion is also the ability to operate self-service at this location as well. Mindful of some of the policies that sort of been adopted in the past with the operation of service stations, such as the policy that we provide full service between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., for those, seniors and those choosing to operate the self-service. So functionally, it's going to function pretty much the same. Actually, one difference I could point out, and if there are any sort of operational questions of this sort, my engineer is ready to step in at this time. But back in the 20s, when they had the late 20s, I should say, the way that the pump islands were situated, some were pointed towards the sea and ran parallel to the sea.
If I behave that way, wouldn't you be suspicious of me? I'll be honest.
What we've done is we've kept all the pump islands directionally by brand. It kind of keeps that aspect sort of further away from the residential area. Functionally, it functions better in that proposed way. So that's really one of the only changes from, say, some of the past operation, the direction of way some of the pump island that was over by Seaman, we've changed and had everything running parallel. But other than that, functionally remain the same. I think this would be an upgrade. I think it's reasonable. One thing that we added, and perhaps, I don't know if it was part of the original site plan, so if you can indulge me for a few more moments, if I can have my engineer just speak a little bit about the fact that I know he added a landscaping plan, and I don't know if that was part of the original package. So if you could discuss some of that, Mr. Tartaglia?
Yes, my appearance before the board, Chris Tartaglia, principal owner of the firm High Point Engineering, 521 Conklin Street, Farmingdale, New York, 11735. If we could just, on the display, maybe just go to the aerial photo right there. So what we can see up on the board for the aerial there is the site is essentially completely devoid of any kind of landscaping or green space. One of the rules of thumb that we have not only in Hempstead but in every place where we operate our facilities is to try to get as much green space as we can and essentially landscape every part of the property that does not need to be utilized as a building, a parking stall, or a circulation aisle. So in this instance, what we've done, and if you could go back to the rendering, please, we're adding a significant amount of green space, a little over 2,000 square feet. Again, one of the other rules of thumb that we like to use is if we can get more landscaping than building area, we find that we've had a successful design, and in this case we have. As you can see from the plan, we're creating landscape areas up at the front of the property, in between the curb cuts, and also buffering to the rear of the building with some evergreen foliage there. The landscape species are called out in the plan, which have been submitted. However, we do understand sometimes that there are some suggested changes which board members may wish to make, and as always, we are completely open to any changes which may need to be made, and enhancements or changes to the species that are proposed.
Are there any questions or comments from the town board?
Thank you for your comments. Baldwin is, I represent this part of Baldwin. I share it with Student Councilwoman Dorothy Gooseby, and I appreciate all that the county has done for Grand Avenue, but the town of Hempstead has also done a tremendous amount of work with the leadership of Supervisor Santino, so I just want to comment on that. You have a couple of outstanding violations. Will those be fixed?
Yes, it was brought to our attention. If I could submit, we took over this site. We have a tenant there, and we're probably looking for a new tenant. But if I could submit some of these photographs, I have photographs as part of this package, as well as we had some of our people knock door to door, some of the people in the back, and discuss them too. So we actually have some consents from some of the residences in the back, and we have some extra consent forms, and all the issues that were brought to our attention that could be addressed immediately have been addressed immediately. Some of the things that I did know, if I could submit this? Thank you. One thing I noticed, and it kills me quite frankly, is that it's really just a paperwork issue. Where we see like there was a number of violations where there was sort of open permits on tanks that aren't even there. You know, and the contractors, and I try to advise my clients quite frankly all the time, don't make that last payment until the paperwork is done. And I noticed in this particular case, we've got a bunch of paperwork type of violations which as we go through the process, we haven't been able to address those immediately. We're still, within the process, but they're all in the process of being addressed, including the paperwork ones and the maintenance ones. When you see the photographs, you'll know that we take it.
Great. I also note that this is about 0.3 miles away from Baldwin High School. Have close to 1,000 kids at the high school. Would you consider limiting the sale of alcohol as a result?
As a policy, we do during certain hours of operation limit alcohol sales. Yes.
A lot of kids walking around there, and they have an open campus. You can go out. We appreciate it if you consider that. Last thing is I have to refer to our resident expert landscaper. I appreciate all you're trying to do to make Grand Avenue beautiful. It seems like you've done a lot, but my knowledge in that area is very limited.
Okay, thank you very much, Councilwoman. It's wonderful to be able to share a community with you. We work well together. I'm looking at some of the violations you said that were eliminated, but what really bothers me is tires that are piled up that water seeps into, and we know that causes a problem as far as mosquitoes are concerned. I really don't understand why all of this junk is there. I don't understand why it gets, because I look at the photographs, they're just unnerving to me. I really don't know, did you get rid of the shed? Did you get rid of all the junk that's there? And which also will harbor mosquitoes, and it's really a blight to the area. I've noticed this for quite some time because I passed it, many times. It's just unreal to me. I've never seen the photographs.
Councilwoman, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. And I think if you see the photographs I just submitted, you'll see that we've addressed these issues. And like I said, we may be looking for a new tenant at that location as well. But I think if you take a look at that, you're right on the photographs that you have before you. But I think we've addressed your concerns. We'll continue to address your concerns.
And the other part I think bothers me, we need so many variances. How are you going to get all of those what we plan to do?
Well, we meet, say, the parking requirements, and as a practical matter, I think that, it is an existing site, it's an existing condition. So say, for instance, one variance would be that I believe the GSS requirement is that the site itself be 15,000 square feet. I think we're 13,000 and change. We're substantially in compliance in that end, and it has operated and functioned, since 1928 as a service station. We meet the parking. The building itself might encroach a little bit, so there are some existing conditions, but I don't think that they present any issue.
Now, I like to see Baldwin, they're really working on Baldwin to make it look better than it is and increase the projection of what it looks like, and just with the residents are requiring.
And I agree with that, and the company, I know it's like 141 after so you say, what is that? But the principle that's been operating this is well, we haven't been selling motor fuel since we've taken over the site, but it's Valero, and we operate other service stations throughout Long Island and in the town of Hempstead. And I think if you take a look at some of the service stations that we've done in the town of Hempstead, our landscaping is spectacular. We do a great job on the architectural elements, and I think every time we've come in to make an improvement, it has been a substantial improvement. And then sometimes we feel that as a result of that, when you improve one, it has that sort of ripple effect on others, because people see this one and it has a positive, people want to go to the clean one, people want to go to the nice one, people don't want to go to the dirty gas station. So I think if we look at the ones that we've done, in the town and throughout the island, you'll be proud of what we come up with.
Because I don't expect to see any of this junk that I see on here.
Absolutely.
Backyards and all the cars are going to be gone, and you're going to clean it up.
Absolutely.
Everything is going. So it look like the others. Okay, yours are not.
Absolutely.
All right.
Good morning. A couple of questions. Number one, gas product delivery pickup times. You're abutting residential property. I would assume that you will covenant to the fact that there won't be any of these
from, let's say, 10 or 11 o'clock at night till 7 o'clock in the morning so these people can sleep?
Absolutely, off-peak hours would be the times that we'd be looking to, with respect to fueling operations, as well as its private carding at that location. We'll make arrangements as well.
I didn't see on the plans, but I'm assuming that you're including a sprinkler system for all the landscaping?
Yes.
Going to the landscaping plan now, while certainly the plan is an improvement over nothing that's there now, it still has a long way to go. Your arborvitae's along the residential property line are 7 feet apart. They should better be 3 feet apart with 8-foot minimum arborvitae's. This way, in a very short period of time, they will help the residents that are living there from headlights, from noise that will be going on there all hours of the day and night. Also, the amount of, the varied amount, you have a very short list of very common things on this list. I think it can certainly be much more creative. You have a Valero up on North Jerusalem that far more creative than this, and I think Baldwin deserves nothing less than any other area. And we certainly have a list of flowers that we have, both annuals. I see you've included some, you can include some more, and I think you can go certainly much further with this for the benefit of this residential community.
Any other member of the town board? Councilor?
We think it's a reasonable application. We think it'll be an upgrade to the area. We've listened to the board's comments and concerns, and we'll incorporate that into the plans, and we look for your favorable discussion.
Thank you, Councilman. No other member of the audience has signed in. Does anyone want to address this particular matter? There being none, I'll accept the motion.
Supervisor, I move to close the public hearing and move your decision.
Second motion.
Supervisor Santino.
Aye.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Hughes. Councilman King Sweeney.
Aye.
Thank you very much,
Have a
Councilman.
great day.
On the decision calendar.
Supervisor, on the decision calendar, we have application of Cola EM Realty LLC for variance from GSS ordinance to maintain an existing service station and operate a convenience store, as well as area sign and parking variance in Elmont.
Okay, can I have a motion, please?
I move this the application be granted.
Supervisor Santino.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Esposito. Councilman Gooseby. Councilman Hughes. Councilman King Sweeney.
For the administrative calendar, please.
Supervisor, on the administrative calendar, we have items 1 through 46.
Okay, does any member of the board like to sever any item on the calendar, on the administrative calendar?
Mr. Supervisor, not at this time, but I would like to ask some questions on one of the items.
Well, okay, let's have a motion. First, we have a motion, please.
Supervisor, I move the administrative calendar and
Second.
Okay. We'll hear from the public first. Okay.
Supervisor, I'd like to ask some questions with regard to item 24.
Sure. Again, we'll hear from the public first, and then I'll be happy to entertain any questions from the board. Okay, Mary Ellen Craig. Craig.
Mary Ellen Craig, 436 Locust Avenue, Uniondale. On item number 17, relating to the amending the contract and so on for work, road improvements on my street. My question is about whether there is more road improvement planned for our area, because there's a particular spot which I wonder about this tri-state paving. there's a particular spot on Henry Street and Jefferson Place that keeps getting repaired improperly and then opens up again.
So your question then is there any additional road work planned for this particular locale in Uniondale?
That's correct.
Okay, Commissioner Tuman, Mr. Tuning, Deputy Commissioner Tuning, either one of you want to address that?
Commissioner Tuman, Commissioner Medicare. We're currently reviewing streets to be added to the 2017 budget. Henry Street. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Okay, that's high on the list.
Oh, very good. Because that corner at Emerson Place and Henry, whatever they do there is inadequate. And from what I understand, the problem is that they don't, when they repair it during the wintertime, they don't keep the pit before they put the tar in. And as a result, it just gets pulled up right away, very shortly after. It's a total waste of time.
Okay. So, Commissioner, what a permanent fix to that area is high on our priority list.
Yeah, total resurfacing project is high on the list, but as you know, we're limited in the roads we can ultimately choose, but that's high on the list.
Okay.
Oh, does that mean 2019?
No, it's being considered for 2017.
Oh, excellent.
Okay. Thank you.
And on Greenfield
They run the
Cemetery,
administrative count. What they do is they call it
34,
once.
item 34.
Right.
What kind of
Various things.
consultant?
Just let it run. You don't know till they talk about it.
Okay, Commissioner Marino?
Because they could call, they could talk about number 1, they could talk about number 13, but you may not push the button fast enough.
Good morning, Supervisor, council members, good morning. We've had, for many years, we've had a consultant at Greenfield Cemetery that helps us with certain issues concerning burials and state situations and so forth.
Well, Commissioner Mayor, what you mean is that the operations of the cemetery are highly regulated by New York state law and procedures.
And this gentleman here, we just changed the price of the contract and we renewed the contract, and it's very valuable to the town of Hempstead.
And we lowered the rate approximately in half. So we negotiated a downward amount, a lower amount for this particular contract. It's been in existence for a number of years, and in our broad effort to save money for the taxpayers, we were able to negotiate this downward.
I see. So basically, he helps you work your way through the regulations?
He makes sure that everything that gets done at the cemetery is done according to state regulations, which are significant and are exacting and complex, so you need someone with a particular expertise in order to do that.
And do they change a great deal over time?
No, but each circumstances, they are always subject to change, but the circumstances are always, you need someone there who is very well versed in the regulations, so that any particular circumstance that would come up, that we are in conformity with state law.
So I'm just trying to understand.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this in relation to the monuments that are put up?
No, the actual burials. The whole cemetery, but primarily the burials.
Well, it seems kind of hard reach to figure there would need to be a regular consultant, but I'm glad to hear that you've
opposing both
managed to get contact out. Thank you.
Thank you.
I forgot what that stands for, but something environmental quality review or something.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Margaret Zildo, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. From Valley Stream, is there a Margaret from Valley Stream? Camera room? Oh, okay. So I didn't see it. How are you? Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and address for the record, please?
Margaret Sire.
Sorry about
Well,
that.
Cameron
Good
Lane,
reading.
Valley Stream.
Good.
Two questions.
Yes.
One, moving forward, I know it's not going to happen today, but moving forward, would you consider appointing a member of the Valley Stream residents to the Town of Hempstead IDA board?
We consider residents from all communities, so absolutely we consider every community in this township.
Thank you. I'm also wondering if you or somebody here can help me to put together an educational forum for the residents to better understand how the pilots, which I know is not you, but the taxes are affected by that.
Well, that would be something that the IDA, the Industrial Development Agency itself should do, because that's all within their purview, not ours. However, we can certainly make a suggestion to them. It's a good idea.
Very helpful.
It's a good idea.
Okay.
Thank you.
Catherine Gary.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Catherine Gary. I'm at 109 Broadway in Rockville Center. I'm here to address issues of the IDA as well. First of all, I was in support very much of the people in Valley Stream protesting against the retail pilot issue there that has so adversely affected their taxes. But it brought home a concern that I've had for over 10, maybe even 15 years with regard to the village of Hempstead. We were very, first of all, I am the editor of the Freedom Press. I am director of the Many Races Cultural Foundation, and I am a former resident of Hempstead. My interest in Hempstead comes out of my being the editor of the Freedom Press, and it centers on racial issues, which is the concern of the Many Races Cultural Foundation. And it's through my investigations, I have found that not only the IDA of Hempstead, but other groups have given pilots at an extraordinary level to, which has undermined the tax base of the village of Hempstead. And I was particularly concerned recently about the one for Key Food, which is a retail establishment, and yet the pilot was issued for that particular area. The problem was that when I went to the IDA board and asked them about that, why people were opposing Green Acres on the grounds that it was retail, but then the IDA gave a retail pilot to Key Food. And the response of the IDA attorney, Mr. Ryan, was that there's another issue with regard to retail. Not only, as you know, they claimed that Green Acres was a tourist attraction to justify the retail. Obviously, Key Food is not a tourist attraction either. So he said that there's also another issue, and that has to do with a depressed area. And that he had documentation that indicated that Hempstead was considered a depressed area. It was the only area in all of Long Island that was considered a depressed area. And I said to him, first of all, I would like to see the law that says that a depressed area gets a special consideration. And secondly, I would like to see the documentation that zeroes in on Hempstead as being a depressed area. And so he said, I said I would like to get that under the FOIL request. He said, yes, you can get that under FOIL. So I put a FOIL request in, and I received a letter now denying me that information, that he said publicly that he had the information and that I could get it under FOIL, and now the agency is denying me. So I think you should be aware of that. In a broader sense, if in fact Hempstead is declared a depressed area, a distressed area, that is questionable, number one, because the area median income is like $53,000. It is not a totally depressed area. It needs work, yes, but it's not a totally depressed area. The businesses there are making money. The problem is, as I see it, is that over the years, there have been so many pilots for apartment buildings, and apartment buildings do not bring in jobs, and they instead have depressed the area economically because they bring in a lot of people, and they ultimately cause the taxes to go up. And so you give the brakes to these apartment building owners. They don't keep up the buildings oftentimes, and it's depressing the area. So I want to present to you a study. First of all, I want to give you a copy of the letter from the IDA rejecting my request, and I also would like to give you a copy of the Freedom Press from 2009, which went into an extensive study of the numbers of properties taken off the tax rolls in Hempstead. As you will see, back in 2009, there was already $4 million, I'll just finish up this, $4 million worth of tax revenue to the village, plus another 8 to 10 million to the school district, and this is in 2009, because of these apartment building pilots. And I find that the current board is totally insensitive to this, and that this is going to affect the whole town of Hempstead, because now with this supposed new development, which is quite controversial, they want to bring in a city into the center of Hempstead, which affects the town of Hempstead. They want to bring in another 10,000 people into that community, and the developer wants 20-year pilots on every single apartment building that he wants to bring in here. So this is very serious. So I'm going to give you this special issue.
Please give it to the clerk, we'll make it part of the record. Yep.
To each member, and that you take it seriously. I think
Thank you very much, Jen.
we need to...
Your time has expired, so thank you very much. Okay. Diane Madden?
Diane Madden, Hempstead, New York. Item number 28103. I just have some questions about this social media policy. It seems like a place where people can be discriminated against as far as I was trying to find out the consequences, and they vary from nothing to being terminated. So who makes those decisions?
Albina, if you come forward, this is one of our deputy town attorneys who's involved in this area. Please, Albina, identify yourself for the record.
Albina Tyler, deputy town attorney, town of Hempstead.
Okay. Could you just explain in brief policy and what it does?
Or with any policy with the town, we have to give our employees notice certain actions that they can be disciplined for. One such area that has developed through the years has been social media and the use of social media during working hours. This policy applies to all of our employees, and as with any other policy, depending on the nature of the infraction, that is what the discipline will depend on.
So who makes that decision?
Well, that decision is made jointly with the department heads and myself as labor counsel for the town.
Okay, and who monitors these employees?
Well, as with all of our employees, we have supervisors at all different levels. So you have middle management, and then you have the actual commissioners, department heads, division heads, and they all come and seek guidance from me, the labor minister.
So what you're saying is all of those people that you just named can be on Facebook all day monitoring the people they suspect are on social media?
Absolutely not. Usually it comes to our attention if the employee is seen using their phones for accessing social media. This is not a policy to be put in place to ensure that our employees are being monitored on their media sites. That is not the purpose of it whatsoever. The purpose of it is that during working hours, the employees, as town employees, are expected to be working. They're not free from distraction. So if they're walking around with their cell phones on Facebook, posting, liking, and whatever else, and that comes to our attention, as it most often does, we have to take action, just like we take action for any other thing that we had seen, such as the use of the town vehicle, or any other type of behavior that the employee, as any other employee, should not be conducting.
Okay, I'm confused because what you just said was that the use of Facebook and social media, that's a little bit different than the content of what they're saying on social media.
If they are working, and it is during working hours, which is what the social media policy goes to, they should not be commenting or doing anything on social media during those working hours.
Okay.
That's the purpose of this policy, is to give them notice that they are not to be on social media while they are at work, during work.
I'm not getting that from this. I'm getting it's more of what they're saying on social media.
Well, considering that it doesn't mention anything with respect to what they're posting, it's simply, the policy is very clear on its face, and it's very direct as to what we are policing, which is when you're at work, you're expected to work, free from distraction. That's the purpose of this policy.
It goes a lot deeper than that. Does this apply to contracted employees?
Does this apply to contracted employees?
Correct.
They're independent contractors for a reason. They're not employees.
Okay, so not contracted employees.
They're not employees. There's a difference there.
Well, they work for the town. They're contracted with Hempstead.
They're contracted to provide certain services for the town. They are not employees. They're independent.
Okay, they're taxpayer-funded contracts who work for Town of Hempstead. How do these reports come in? Are they from the public or?
It really varies. I mean, it is a case-by-case, it's taken as a case-by-case situation. So there's really no one situation fits all.
That one
It can come from the public, it can come from different resources. It really depends.
So ultimately, you make that decision, though, is what is my understanding?
We make it in conjunction with the departments.
And depending, it could be some, in other words, someone could violate this 20 times and not have any repercussions, or someone could violate. Because it just seems like there's no really parameters here.
Yes, there are. It can lead to their termination, but like anything else with labor law, there's progressive discipline, and the town is very good at following progressive discipline.
Yeah, well, it depends on who you are.
Providing our employees notice,
Oh, my God.
and moving from there.
This is the person you have determining who the behaviorist was? Thank you.
Council, while you're up there, I just wanted to make it clear for the record that that excludes employees that are directed by their supervisor or a member of the town board, for that matter, to do research or communication on Facebook or some other social media outlet.
That's actually directly in the policy. The
Thank you.
parameters of who it includes and the parameters of what is posted and how it's being used while on town hall.
Yeah, it's used for governmental purposes. Correct.
You know, one more question. Since this is obviously an issue in the town somehow, how about some kind of policy for agents or volunteers for different departments? Has that been something that the town board has considered? Because that is a far bigger problem.
That's not covered by this policy.
No, I understand.
So it's not germane to this moment right now, and it's not something we've considered at this time. It is simply a policy to make sure that employees, when they're here, are working for the taxpayers. And it's just as, it's analogous to someone who is sitting at a desk with a deck of cards playing solitaire, or with a phone, because you can now do it on a phone or a laptop or an iPad, playing solitaire or some other game. It's covered. It's designed to stop town employees who are at work, being employed, being paid by the taxpayers, from doing something other than the work for which they are paid. Am I right?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Counselor. Okay, thank you. William McCabe.
William McCabe, Post Office Box 334, New Hyde Park, New York, 11040. Members of the Town Board, Supervisor Santino. This is in regards to the free air amendment that's coming up as a hearing on February 21st. Has that...
Okay, with respect to, identify that exact matter, please.
That's number 33 and number 45.
Okay, so what is the only thing on the, obviously the other item is about scheduling of the hearing. Unless you have an issue with that particular date, that's not germane at the moment. If you want to talk about the Sigma negative declaration, that's the only item on the calendar at this moment on that item.
Yes, Supervisor, I understand that. Thank you. What is the meaning, and can any background be given to us in regards to number 33 on there? But I don't exactly know.
Ms. Santori, sir?
There are certain actions taken by the town board that require a CEQA resolution that says that the action considered will not have an adverse impact on the environment. Just to be 100% sure, we are passing this. It's doubtful whether or not this particular item requires a CEQA resolution. However, other municipalities and other places in the state have done that, so we're doing it just to make sure that we're covered. And so we're saying that the law, if enacted, would not have a negative impact on the environment.
Okay, and what does that stand for, SEQR? Or more or less?
Environmental requirements,
Okay. Are the results of that published or can be foiled?
It's called a type 1 action, so yes, you can foil it.
Okay, thank you. And in regards to the hearing, where has it been posted thus far? Where the hearing, when the hearing is going to be held and where?
It's posted on today's calendar.
Okay, has it been put into the Business News, Long Island Business News?
I do not believe it's been published yet because we're just passing it today. It'll probably be published on Friday.
Okay, will trade organizations be contacted?
It is on our website and it will be in Long Island Business News.
Will trade organizations be contacted?
We comply with New York State law when we do our notices, and we will comply with state law.
Trade organizations were contacted for the original law for March 29th after that hearing.
Mr. Vieira, he's answered your question. So move on.
Oh, just clarifying about.
You can ask it as many times as you want, he's answered it.
It didn't seem that way, but thank you.
Thank you. Felix Procacci.
Felix Procacci, 1165 Vaughn Street, Franklin Square, New York. I want to speak on number 33 and 45. I oppose both these resolutions for the following reasons, and here are the reasons. I oppose them because they refer to the modification of the town's so-called free air law. This law is currently under court injunction because the town failed to follow the open meetings law, among other things. Now, in an attempt to circumvent the injunction, the town is changing the law. No changes to this law should be made until the courts made its decision. Also, since there is pending litigation on this matter, the town attorney will invoke its policy of not commenting on pending litigation except in cases in which it benefits the town's supervisor. So if these resolutions are passed, in 2 weeks, a hearing will be held in which the town attorney will claim that no questions regarding this proposed law can be answered due to the fact that there is pending litigation. And for the second time in less than a year, the town will pass this unconstitutional law without any legal justification. Even at the hearing on March 29, 2016, when this law was first considered, the town refused to answer any detailed questions regarding the legality of this law. This law preempts New York State business law. The town's current legal argument is because state law is silent on pricing, and it's a miscellaneous law.
Are you talking about the merits of the proposal?
I'm opposing the law. I'm opposing these resolutions from even being here, and I'm giving you the reasons why I'm opposing it. And it is a miscellaneous law, and this allows the town to set a price for compressed air. These arguments are ridiculous. There are many laws in New York State which...
It sounds like you're arguing the merits of the...
No, I am not. I am giving you the reasons why I oppose these resolutions. I have to detail it out. I'm not just going to...
You oppose the secret negative declaration for what reason?
For the same thing. It has to do with a modification of this law. I oppose anything that changes this law. And I'm giving you the reasons why I oppose this law. I wish you wouldn't interrupt me. You're using up my time. There are many laws in New York State that mandates a business provide a product or service. New York State inspection, compressed air, but in no situation does the state mandate they provide that service for free, and in no case does it mandate price through zoning law. Even nearly after 1 year, the town has failed to explain why this health and safety issue, which they claim is the reason why they're passing this free air law, they have failed to explain why it is a health and safety issue. It appears the town's attorneys feel that if they say the same stupid thing over and over again, it eventually becomes true. The town supervisor says it's a health and safety issue, but refuses to explain why dropping 3 quarters in an air machine can cause anyone any harm.
Okay, thank you very much. Councilwoman Gooseby, you wanted to address a particular issue?
Yes, thank you, Supervisor.
See you, Councilwoman.
We have number 13, which I am supporting wholeheartedly, and I have had the pleasure of interviewing the person that who's on there to be appointed to the town IDA board. I had the pleasure of meeting her and reviewing her qualifications. She has extensive and varied experience in public education on Long Island. She was a strong member of the town's IDA board, and we look out for the interests of our community's public school districts when considering applications for IDA benefits that may reduce the tax revenue for schools and other tax districts affected by the IDA grant of payments in lieu of taxes or power. That's very important to me and my communities, all of the town's communities, especially since we've been through too many problems which has affected our schools. So I'm highly in control.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman. Councilman Blakely, you had a question about the matter?
Yes, item 24, Mr. Supervisor. Someone asked some questions with respect to that.
That's the question.
Okay. What is the purpose of the contract?
Commissioner Pritchard, Superintendent Metzger, if he's come forward. Commissioner Pritchard, for the audience who doesn't may not know, Commissioner Pritchard from our Sanitation Department and Superintendent of Sanitation Thomas Metzger. The question is, what's the purpose?
The purpose of the contract is to recycle mattresses and save the town some money in the process. Our mattresses are currently picked up at a price of around mid-70s dollars per ton, and this contract we negotiated with them to get the price down to $4.
How many mattresses do we collect in the town on an annual basis?
30 or 50 a day, which translates to 300 to 500 tons per year.
So, with respect to this particular contract, what happens to the mattresses? Is there a storage and recycling facility that this company has?
Yeah, they have a facility in Oceanside where they actually pull the mattresses apart and then they sell the byproducts independently. So it's fiber, steel from the springs, and foam.
How long have they been in business?
They've been in business
2 years now that I'm aware of.
And who weighs the mattresses to determine whether or not the price that we're paying is accurate?
We weigh them on the way out. They will weigh them when they get there, but we weigh them on the way out.
So,
All of our trucks are weighing on the way in.
so the sanitation department is going to deliver the mattresses to a facility in Oceanside. They will already have been weighed?
Yes,
And where are they weighed?
in Merritt.
So they will be consolidated in Merritt and delivered to Oceanside to be weighed rather. And the work is actually performed there in Oceanside, or is it contracted out by the group that
When
we're
I
doing
was
business
there,
with?
they were performing the work there. I don't know if they contract anything out. When I was there, they were performing the work there.
Do they have a license to do this?
Yes.
Have we seen your license?
What?
Have we seen your license?
I did not see it personally, but you need a license from the DEC to have that.
Are they bonded?
Yes.
How much is the amount of their bond? Do they have insurance?
Yes, they do.
How much is the amount of insurance that they have?
It's the standard town insurance. I think the limits are $1 and $2 million for liability, but there's also a $5 million umbrella policy.
In this contract, we are obligated to pay for mattresses that are collected from outside the town. Why is that?
Outside the town as far as what, villages or?
According to the contract, it says that, I believe, we are obligated to pay them for mattresses collected within the town or within 15 miles of the town boundary. Why is that?
I would imagine there is villages that drop mattresses off at our owner area.
No, this
We
refers...
have separate deals with different villages.
Yeah, okay, but do we have deals with villages outside of the town of Hempstead?
No.
Well, this says that it's for the town of Hempstead or within 15 miles of the town boundary will be accepted.
That won't happen.
Okay, well, that's what the contract says. You want to take a look at it?
This is for mattresses we collect on our routes, correct? Or that is delivered to us by a village within the town of Hempstead, with which we have an appropriate
Mr. Lee would have an
arrangement.
answer on that.
Supervisor, the contract was bid two ways. We asked those bidding to provide prices in two circumstances. One, in which they come to our facility and collect the mattress. The other, where we deliver the mattress to their facility. Their facility must be either within the town of Hempstead or within 15 miles of a Hempstead town boundary. I think that may be...
Oh, that's so the councilman is misreading what the contract said.
I believe so.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lee.
I can read it to you,
All
Mr.
right. Are there any other questions? Are there any other questions? It's been explained to you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much. Let's call the roll on the administrative calendar. Sit down. Thank you, Commissioner. Will you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Supervisor Santino.
Aye.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Pasito.
Aye.
Councilman Boothby. Councilman Hughes. Councilman Keith Sweeney.
Okay, now we will take a motion, please, Senior Councilwoman.
Supervisor, I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Supervisor Santino.
Aye.
Councilman Ambrosino. Councilman Blakeman. Councilman Diaz-Pasito.
Aye.
Councilman Boothby. Councilman Hughes. Councilwoman King Sweeney.
Okay. So moving forward now, we go to the miscellaneous portion of the meeting. Mr. Larry Sklar. Mr. Sklar.
Supervisor, how are you?
Good, sir. How are you, sir?
You know these people? I know everybody from this side and nobody from that side. I've been here for 3 years. The reason I'm here today is, I'd like to ask the town of Hempstead to help us. I represent an organization called Homes for Homecoming Heroes. And we just completed our first house in Hicksville for a returning veteran. I'm the founding member of Habitat for Humanity of Nassau County. I originally wanted to do this organization with them, and it didn't work. So we started our own 501c3. We're a 100% voluntary organization. We have 3 expenses: a post office box, a telephone. Nobody gets paid. We just built a $650,000 appraised house in Hicksville that a veteran bought for $235,000. If we would have been able to work out insurance a little differently, he would have bought it even for a little less. We bought that land from the county. The county has just approved us for another piece in Freeport, but unfortunately we're having a little roughness with the town over taxes. It was a claim that they never put in with the county. But we'll work it out. The mayor is not such a bad guy. Anything that might be available in Hempstead, we have $500,000 to build these houses. We probably have more money on the back end. We have a multi-million-dollar commitment from SUNY May for financing for the veteran. It's very simple. Any honorably discharged veteran qualifies to go into our lottery.
Okay, Mr. Starr, what I'm going to ask you to do is to have a conversation with one of my executive assistants, Cheryl Petrie, right there, Petrie, and she is my liaison to the Planning and Economic Development Department, and they would handle these issues. And if we could be helpful in any way, you could be assured that we would be more than happy to do that, because it's a very worthy cause, and it's something that I know that I and every member of this board supports, doing all that we can for our veterans. So Ms. Petrie, who again will raise her hand, and we'll speak to you at the conclusion of the meeting.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Shern, Richard Shern. Good morning, I think so. Yep, good morning.
Good morning.
Name and address for the record, sir.
Richard Sherring, 167 Jefferson Avenue, Culver Island, New York.
Yes, sir.
11558. I'd like to ask you about the Culver Isle Basilico development, which I believe you're familiar with. As you know, this is a decades-long dispute going on. Years ago, when the community spoke to the board and the board adopted a restrictive covenant in response to the community's concerns, everyone in the community received a letter from Kate Murray and yourself, Supervisor, indicating, how important the community was to you and lauding this effort that you made to adopt this restrictive covenant. What's happened since then is the developer has challenged the validity of the restrictive covenant in the state Supreme Court and was successful. The town appealed it to the appellate division and lost. The town recently made a motion for re-argument and lost again. And the basis of the decision was that the town failed to cite any specific reason justifying the restrictive covenant. This is the record. So there's a lot of anxiety in the community. Number one, because word has gotten out informally, mainly through me, digging up these records in the court system of this happening, of the town losing in court, and more currently in the appellate division. So there's some people that are concerned. that the development is going forward. Some people aren't sure because they were receiving information informally. So my initial question to you is, when does the town intend to inform the residents of Harbor Isle exactly what's going on and what the plan is? Given that a few years ago, when the action was taken, it was promoted and a letter was sent to everyone in the community, when is the town going to inform the community of where it stands now, what the status is, and what the future holds?
Yes.
Mr. Sklar, number one,
Mr. Sherman.
the town attorney's office respectfully disagrees with the appellate division decision. And number two, since the matter is still being reviewed and is still in litigation, we can have no further comment on this issue.
Well, I think that's an unfortunate position to report to the community what the status is and where it stands without impairing your litigation position, in my opinion. And I think you're doing a disservice to the community, a very small community of Harbor Isle, by not communicating that. And these are documents that are a public record, by the way. It's not a secret that was lost. My second question is, what is the town's position on the project going forward, given the situation that we're in now? Do you plan, I've spoken to you, Councilman D'Esposito, about this, and you've indicated to me that you've thought about it and that you're considering other measures to perhaps restrict the developer's plans. So I'd like to know in a public setting, on the record, what your position is. And you can just restate to me what you told me informally. I think that would be appropriate. But I'd like to know what the position of the town board is on the project going forward.
Councilman, if I might. The decision is under review, and since the matter is still in litigation, we have no further comment.
Okay, I have nothing further.
Great, thank you very much. Stephanie Capuano. Hi. Good morning. Your name and the address for the record.
I'm going to read this. You can hear me?
Yes, I have to go a little closer. Just pull it in for you a little bit, okay?
Thanks. The number one cause of death for dogs and cats in this world is still euthanasia. Large societies waste far too much money on housing, building expensive facilities, and paying elaborate salaries. They tend to be run like for-profit businesses. We need a spay and neuter center in conjunction with the shelter, the town of Hempstead shelter. We cannot be killing our way out of overpopulation. This is the biggest crux of the problem. We can certainly look into alternate solutions for vets to do those surgeries. One way to cut costs, such as requiring graduates to volunteer even just 1 hour a week to spay and neuter. It literally takes 5 minutes to neuter a male cat. Just snip it. Or in exchange for credits. It can be done. If we have a shelter that gets $4 million, we can certainly incorporate a TNR center to eliminate housing, to eliminate a lot of the problems that we have with the sheltering these animals. We need a larger TNR center. We can get low-cost vets in exchange for credits or to volunteer an hour of their time. This can be done. We have to look into these solutions. And I'll help do that. But we need to do that instead of paying elaborate. And that's all I have to say on this for now.
Thank you very much.
I've helped my community, and I'm doing that, and I see the results, and I see how much it's helping the community. They still don't like it to see overabundance in cats outside or dogs. And if they're brought to the shelter, they'll just kill them. Most of the cats are killed at the shelters, and we can't eliminate the problem. I've eliminated mine on a whole stretch of a park, and It works. I've been doing it every day for 16 years. It really works, and that's going to eliminate the problems we have in these shelters. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Lucille Defina. Lucille Defina? Oh, there you go. I see it. Good.
I find that amusing, what was just said, because our shelter runs totally opposite. The last thing you would want were people to volunteer their services or vets to come in and work for free, because you're paying one vet an enormous salary and another vet a contract that's making him probably somewhere around 150 grand a year. So that's the last thing this board ever cares about, is saving the taxpayers' money. The other thing is, I'm at the point that I'm tired of coming up here to inform you, Supervisor Santino, of things that are putting our animals in danger, because you clearly do not care. You don't care what animal is suffering and what animal is dying. But this latest attack on FIV positive cats, that your director is now threatening and harassing and bullying yet another employee at the shelter. These cats are being used once again for retaliation, being moved into a room where there is no ventilation, no fresh air, stressed out, and I understand the mentality that my custodian, Dr. Siegel, is just hoping that they get sick, and then there'd be a reason he can euthanize them and say it was the humane thing to do. We are watching these cats, and it's unfortunate that you're continuing to let your director work in this manner. So that's about all I'll say on that. I'm going to read into the record a letter that someone wants me to read. I am now asking that my current statement be read, as I find it too dramatic to speak before you, but my stand against what is going on remains strong. The censorship and blocking of freedom of speech that recently took place at town meetings is indefensible, bad enough to attempt to silence people who pay your salaries, but to have a police presence loom over them is beyond comprehension. If you want civility and the consideration of forum rules for a board meeting, try extending that to others. Whether you are tired of hearing us or disagree, that is of no matter. The tax-paying constituents have every right to speak their mind. That behavior was blatantly biased. A person who spoke to defend the shelter was actually thanked and congratulated by Mr. Blakeman, whereas every other viewpoint was met by indifference, arrogance, disdain, or apparent disapproval by council members who do not even look up, or worse, get up and depart during a speech. Mr. Ambrosini has dramatically tossed a notebook down in disgust before leaving a meeting. At the last meeting, I was obviously horrified to find out that the town intends to move forward on the hiring of your original political choice. All the posturing to appear fair was evidently just that, posturing. This person is who you plan to hand the job over to, without her even having certification at the time. The board even held the job open when there was a qualified applicant waiting, under the pretense of others being able to apply so that she could have time to test for basic certification. The fact that you did not have the common decency, hiring etiquette, or political smarts to at the very least contact the other applicant and offer some form of explanation for declining her just reeks arrogance, disregard for the true needs of the animal shelter and the wishes of your paying public. I'm appalled. Regardless of a test score, Actual practical knowledge and skill gained through years of experience holds far more weight in the world. I'm sure we all would prefer to see an experienced doctor with field knowledge rather than one just had graduated med school. Other than the director, I think the behavioral position is the single most direction determining role in that shelter. Yet another choice that shows a lack of real concern and compassion for our shelter animals. The lack of regard for staff, volunteers who will work under a lesser experienced person who oddly enough will receive a hefty salary increase for no experience with no time accrued. Meanwhile, wonderful part-time staff with years of experience and actual animal handling skills still struggle to exist on meager salaries and limited hours because of their love for animals.
Please wrap up. You can submit the rest of the letter to the clerk.
I'm not going to bother submitting these letters. You know, you don't look at them and you don't listen.
Diane Madden? Diane Madden.
Just have a question about those contracts that were passed by the board for $139,000. They were not online. I did overhear you, Mr. Ross, say, I told you to put them online. They hadn't appeared. How is it that they were passed, having not been publicly posted for us to see?
I don't know what contracts you're referring to.
Hemstrong and Christy Fonte.
I will check and find out. I thought they were posted.
No, they were never.
Okay, well,
what is the status of those contracts? Have they been signed?
If you have questions concerning that, please foil the information.
Foil them? Okay. I'm still waiting for another foil from January about the second resume Ms. Fonte submitted that would have been altered from the first, and I haven't received it. So who would I speak to about that?
Mr. Everly.
Who is Michael Pastori's direct supervisor, who oversees him, who
Not
writes up
answering
his...
questions concerning the animal shelter due to the litigation.
Okay, that's fine. So I can find out from FOIL who he reports to?
The document exists.
I would just like to read into the record something that was posted by a woman that tried to volunteer at the animal shelter. Her name is Allison Kohler, and what she said was, I tried to volunteer for them. They require extreme vetting with lengthy training, and the training is offered only one time per month. I gave it up to 3 months of trying to come on board. I told him, meaning the trainer at the time, Nick Dorenz, I have handled hundreds of dogs in the New York City shelter system, rescues and fostering. It didn't matter. I had to have someone else show me how to hold a leash before I could even see a dog. I would even do laundry or sweep floors until the training sessions, but the lack of their eagerness to bring me on for free, in parentheses, left me cold. And it kind of speaks to what Lucille was saying, that left and right at the animal shelter, free help is constantly turned away. Little Shelter was in there the other day. They pulled pit bulls from Babylon, from Brookhaven, from all other shelters. They pull medical expenses and they pay for them. Dave Bernacci has not been approved. Mr. Ra, you have discriminated against him. The partnership agreement requires one vet. Last time he was here, you required a second vet. This is an organization that is utilized by the Nassau County SPCA as an alternative to put animals where they are normally coming from hoarding situations. So I don't know how many more times that we can say this, that how is it possible you have a $4 million animal shelter and it's not enough? You're still turning away help that is for free. How is that? Why is it that Mr.
No comment on the animal shelter due to the litigation.
And that's a good excuse. Someday, we're all gonna sit at a table, and you're gonna have to comment on these things. It's gross mismanagement. I mean, honestly, it's like you need a staff at this point to keep up with the people that contact us and have these kind of appalling experiences. Who is looking into this? Is Mr. Manning still overseeing the animal shelter? Is he still the liaison?
I have no comment on the
Okay,
animal
so I have a comment. The woman that just sat here that seems to be overseeing conduct around the town, I'm sorry, I forget her name, Alyssa, Elvira. What I found appalling about it is that when I heard from the behaviorist that went through all of the rigmarole to try to get this job as a behaviorist and help those animals and help the staff and volunteers, she had nothing but good things to say about everyone on that committee, with the exception of that woman. She said she was condescending, she was nasty, she was mean, and she was insulting. So for the town to hire someone with our money that treats people that way, I think you should think about that. And I'm certainly very interested to find out how she ended up on a behaviorist interview committee and where she came from. Have a good day.
Mr. Felix Picacho.
I think you're lying to the public when you say you're running out of money. I received my third mailing for the year. A nice big color photo. And if you're gonna talk about violating, talking about politics and personal things, you do it all the time. All of you are guilty of it. You all put your pictures here, so you get we finance your campaigns for you, and you never even thank us. And anyway, this is another, $35,000 to $50,000 that you spent, but can't fix a pothole, can't hire this, can't do that, lay off, cut the hours of part-timers at the shelter, that's okay, but $35,000, $50,000 for this, no problem. As far as you put out a press release about the animal shelter, which I'm surprised, because I thought you don't make comments about the animal shelter, about the state inspection. You put out a press release. I thought you don't comment on the shelter because of pending litigation, but if it suits your needs, you do that, like I said in my previous statement, But here is your actual state form. Anti-News was nice enough to print it, Newsday won't print it, but it was done September 15, 2016, and you just put out a press release in January. You tried to mislead people. You said the most recent from 3 months ago. Why didn't you give the date? Transparency. And, things like veterinary care is provided when necessary. This was dated and time stamped at 10:30 a.m. How long was the inspector there that could determine that veterinary care was provided and necessary? Even if she came at 6 o'clock in the morning, that's 4.5 hours, and she or he who inspected the shelter was able to determine that veterinary care is provided after a 4.5 hour inspection, that's ridiculous. So to say you got perfect marks, kind of misleading the public, show them the form. It's ridiculous. They just say yes, no, perfect marks. Yes, 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 that's it. So, as far as the controller's audit, it's great that he's doing it. If he's doing it for political reasons, so what? So what? Because you do anything for political reasons, you don't do anything that's not for political reasons. You bring up the fact that you have one of the lowest euthanasia rates on any shelter on Long Island. Well, Mr. Santino, would you be willing to put the shelter's euthanization rates and adoption rates on the town's website so everybody could see those rates? It's very simple. I foiled that. I got the Excel spreadsheet. I'll do it to you. I'll do it for you for free. I'll put it there using the numbers and give the percentages. Would you be willing to do that?
If you want the information, please foil it.
Will I be able to use your website?
If you want the information, please.
I did foil it. I had no problem. I foiled it a few years ago. Will you put it on your website?
I have no comment.
Of course you don't. Why don't you ever comment about anything? As far as the videos, Mr. Donovan from CSD Net, you know, he analyzed the video footage that I complained about or mentioned a few meetings ago. He says that it wasn't tampered with in any way. I called Mr. Donovan. I asked him, first, would you answer my questions in writing? He said, sure. So I submitted, I think it's like 11 questions to him via email. I think this was about maybe 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. He still hasn't responded to me. I understand there may not be records regarding this. You may not keep records, but the thing is, why would you want to answer? Everything is not foilable. You answer a lot of questions around here that, you know, there's no record, but you'll answer it as a matter of courtesy. Why won't you assure our residents that your security camera system is working up to snuff by answering these simple, very basic questions about security camera video, whether you're using watermarks, are you configuring the sensitivity correctly? These are there may not be a document, but why not answer the questions? I'm sure Mr. Donovan got back to Mr. Prim, and nobody from the town, got back to me regarding the status of those security procedures, which you said doesn't exist. So why not write a sentence saying that you don't have any security procedures? Just say it, because then at least the world will know that you have no procedures in setting up security cameras, so the residents can be reassured that they're not really that safe around here. My time is up.
Dave Hanson. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning. My name is Dave Hanson. PO Box 745 in New York City, New York 11530. Good morning, everyone. Mr. Santino, I have a question for you. Who is your superior?
Not a question and answer session.
Well, I just want that for the record. New York State is over every villages, county, and town. So if you have a problem you can't solve within the town, you can move that to Angiopoma. Another question I have, Mr. Santino, Hempstead University, as far as Uniondale. Your building department, numerous times, my neighbors make complaint to your building department about Astor University and college kid. The law said any college that brings in outside kids must have a place for them to live. There's a law that passed in the Nassau County Legislature years ago under Tom Swazi that said that any house deemed to be commercial, meaning it exceed the amount of people that's supposed to be in that house, it's supposed to be commercial, and the house is supposed to be investigated and moved to be shut. Now, what Hempstead is doing, they get 3 guys, I closed 2 bars already in New York State. We're going to close the other one on Courtney Road just now. Now, what happened is what Hempstead University is doing, they're involved in corruption. And the corruptions on the Constitution said that any college that bringing in outside kids must have a place for them to live. They're not entitled to tax revenue. And what Hempstead did, they get 3 guys to control the bar. They control all homes from Hempstead to Uniondale. Those kids are making residency, applying for New York State driver's license, and applying for student loan, which they are not entitled to. That's criminal. And that's why Uniondale and Hempstead don't have money. Hempstead don't pay taxes. And how could they not pay taxes when my former wife went there and we paid so much money for Hempstead? Another thing, affordable homes. We gave a lot of land to the town of Hempstead on the Cape Mary. Behind the college, there was the army. We don't need so much people now to live there. So we donate those properties to the town. I forgot how much money I gave it for $1. And they get Hempstead, Avalon Bay from West Virginia. We're at the borderline in Kentucky also. And they came over here. There's no affordable homes. I went there several times to apply for affordable homes. They don't even know about that. Those projects get tax revenue from the state, the feds, and the town. That's hollow money. Okay, we need that to be addressed. The homeless situation in Hempstead is terrible. And we need that to be addressed. I didn't want to go up against Kate Mara because I don't like to go up against ladies, But now you are here, you've been here for a long time, and I suggest you look into those situations. I asked you last time to get somebody to teach about conflict of interest. within the town that these people would know their rights. I studied that in the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. In the Port Authority, we have a thing called the feds, which is the IGs. When the IGs come, regardless if you're the CEO of the Port Authority, gone. I started when Henry Coleman father was supervising the Port Authority. Now, let me go fast here. How does contract get awarded through the town of Hempstead? Meaning outside contract. All I know it's supposed to work, minority company must get a piece of the pie. So, meaning that if you register with Nassau County, you'll see everything that falls on the New York State. Now, I found out that the town is not doing that. I wanted to address that. Now, another thing, the streets in Uniondale, they're terrible. They need to be taken care of. I used to have a store in East Meadow. When Sandy, I lost my store. One of your inspectors from your building department discriminated against me by coming into my store, flashed his bat, and said, "Stop the work." He was so nasty to me. I said, "Get the hell out of my store. That's not the way you treat the general public." But because I was the only black on that plaza, they discriminated against me. Sandy, I lost my store, lost all my food. I went to FEMA. FEMA sent me to SBA to borrow a loan. I said, "No way." But today, I see a lot of people going to jail for Sandy money, and I uphold that, because that's my tax dollars. So, Mr. Supervisor, we happen to like it. I want you to look into the town of Hempstead. Every employee's now got to do their job. Or the lady who testified up here, she was right. She was right. I guess you get somebody who knows what they're doing about employees and how they should act. When I worked for the town, I think this was a kangaroo court. I think this was a joke. I didn't know it was a government entity. So I'm telling you guys, wake up, we're watching. I got a TV station coming, I got a radio station coming, and if people on the board can't do their job like Ms. Gooseby, I think you should retire. You have enough time now. The other day you violated me on the record by saying that the House of Court Road is still my house. Check the court records. Check the record. You said that my former wife tell you so. I didn't know you was a legal authority to investigate me privately. You got to do your job and stick to your job. Thank you so much.